Behind me, this beautiful blooming thing is the scourge of the South. No, it's not kudzu and it's not Ulysses S. Grant. It's actually something that escaped and really shouldn't be here at all. If you have plums or apples or peaches or pears, there's a certain design to the flowers that comes up again and again and again, denoting them as members of the Rosaceae family, that is the rose family. And some of the roses even, the wide open bloomed types, like we have a variety called Sally Holmes. It has a great big open bloom that looks rather like these. This is a Bradford pear tree, also known as the calorie pear. This is a tree that was planted for its beautiful blooms, and there are cultivated varieties of it that just light up in a big, beautiful puff of white blooms in the spring, which is what made it so popular as a tree. But unfortunately, it has started to self-seed all over the place. And unlike your delicious table pears, this is not like a Bartlett. This is not like an Anjou. This is a bitter little teeny hard fruit that even the birds don't seem to be that keen on. They're just keen enough to carry it someplace and spit it out where it can start a new one. At least that's my guess, because these guys are all over the place. But you only really spot them at this time of year. People have been trying to eradicate these things now and saying that you definitely shouldn't plant Bradford pears anymore because Bradford pears are this and that and the other thing. Well, there is a silver lining to the Bradford pear, and that is it can be a rootstock for edible pears. Last year, my friend Randall and I, from the Flomaton famous YouTube channel, grafted some cultivated pears onto wild Bradford pears that had seeded themselves around our property here. And so I wanted to show you the progress on it, because some people have said, hey, what happened to those things you grafted? Is that just one of those things that you show on YouTube and then you never show again and we don't even know if it works because it's some sort of a scam? And why are you just messing with us and gaslighting us all the time and just getting in our heads and trying to get ahead with your stupid clickbait titles and just playing this game, man? And you probably make millions and millions of dollars a year off this dumb game that you're playing. I'm gonna show you the tree. I'm gonna just show you the tree. Okay, calm down. Calm down, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna go look at the tree. It's really, really okay. Well, it's not that great, but it's good enough for this video. Let's go look at it. You have them around, or if you wonder if you have them around, this is the time of year to look for them. Now, you can also end up with finding some of your wild cherries and wild plums and other things this time of year. When they burst into bloom, that's when you find stuff. Sometimes the blooms are your indicator, and you would never know that there was a wild plum on your street until you turn around and there you go, there it is. You know, the cow wants to come along for our video here, and the pig. Can you see that? I think it's hilarious that they did that. The pig has decided to adopt the cow. This piglet got out and now it just follows the cows around. It's really kind of cute. This one we grafted and it started to take. It was a bark graft. And then the cows came. That's you. The cows came and knocked the top of it. I don't know. They broke it off a little bit. It really was kind of fitting in there, so you can see that this is all regrowth, and if we wanted to we could pick a couple of these and graft on them and cut the rest of them off, and I may still do that. The cows are still out here and I can see that the tops of these have been chewed off, so it may just not be worth doing it. I think if I was to graft another one where the cows can get to it, that I would graft it up here instead of down here where they can knock it around, because they like to rub up against things and taste the fresh leaves and stuff, and this is just not it. But I have another one that took. We're gonna go look at that one so you can see that this is a legitimate and useful YouTube channel with real and legitimate and useful facts.
Go ahead.
Should I just walk in? Or?
No, you're fine. Just go ahead from now, from there.
All right, this one, we grafted a whole bunch of little pieces on. So we cut all of these limbs off and we grafted one here and here and here and here and here and here. But the cows pruned them off for us. So these are gone. Yet the two that were up here that they didn't reach and that the frost didn't kill, because we had a bad frost right after we grafted. So we lost some to the frost, some to the cows. I blame everything on the cows, but really nature was part of it too. This was a piece about that big right there, stuck into the bark. This one, piece that big, stuck right into the bark. And now it's really almost 8 feet, pretty close, maybe 7. So these two probably next year will go into bloom because they've got a lot of leaves on them and a lot of growth, and they think that they're mature. Now the problem is when you have a bunch of limbs like this is I have to come over here and just break off these little buds of the Bradford that's trying to come back. I just keep knocking them off, and probably I should just take this entire thing down here with a chainsaw and cut off the rest of this. I don't know. It was really cool when it had little grafts all over it, but I mean, I'm happy that we got these two, and it being right here by the pond means that the roots are always dipped in the water. This tree is never going to wilt, and there was a lot of root system on it, so these two parts grew like crazy. So all I want to do is just make sure that the dominance of the Bradford pear doesn't come back. I don't want it blooming and setting seeds and putting lots of branches on. So a couple times a year I come out here and just break off all the little shoots that are growing. And ideally, I guess this would have been a smaller tree to begin with, but we tried the multi-graft thing and it didn't work for cows and freeze reasons. But this is incredible, the way these bark grafts worked. This was my first time doing bark grafts like this, and Randall had done it before and he had such good success with it. You know, you can take a little piece of scionwood and stick it into a big hunk of tree that, I mean, look at all that wood that it's formed. That's incredible. It's all growing together, and when the cambium touches and grows together, it makes the bark around it and starts to make wood around it. Eventually, this will just be a perfect piece of wood here, all holding it together as this gets larger. And you can see the same thing on this one. The bark split out around it and grew together, and now the wood is trying to heal up, and eventually this will just become one piece of wood that comes all the way around. It's just one of those amazing things that was left here for us to discover when this planet was made, that we could graft things together, even trees that are not exactly the same species graft together. So we could take a wild pear that's not particularly productive and turn it into a fruiting pear. And now that we have proof of concept and we know that these grafts take, we can do it on smaller trees. I actually have a little one that's growing up near the edge of the grocery row garden. It just started from seed, and I can stick a piece of pear on there probably next year and get a cultivated pear right on this rangy wild rootstock. And it being self-seeded means its roots have gone deep from the time that it grew. It wasn't grown in a pot until it was 3 or 4 years old and then stuck in the ground with a little teeny root ball. Those roots are just going to be everywhere. They're going to be very strong. So when you graft a good fruit on top of it, heck yeah, that's awesome. Just, it's like magic. It just works. So if you want to learn more about how to propagate plants, check out my book, Free Plants for Everyone. Seriously, this book, Free Plants for Everyone, takes plant propagation, makes it really easy. If you've ever wondered how you could make thousands of dollars in your spare time, that's pretty much it. The Free Plants for Everyone. You can literally, you know, take 100 fig cuttings and stick them and have 100 fig trees. You know, there's a lot of old methods and simple methods, and we do everything on the cheap as much as possible. And for pennies of materials, and sometimes for just free, you can grow a lot of things. I mean, all we had to do was take pieces off of an existing pear and tack them onto this wild pear here. So, Free Plants for Everyone. I'll put a link to the book below. I think you'll find it useful. And thanks for joining me. It's nice to see you all again. Catch you soon. If you want to come out and check out our plants, we are at the Ferdinand Plaza Ferdinand the 7th down in Pensacola. Every Saturday through the spring we should be down there, except when we're at Keepers of the Old Ways and at Scrubland Farms near the end of April. But otherwise, all through March, we're going to be down there. So maybe we'll run into you down there if you want to come see our plants. And until next time, may your thumbs always be green. Behind me is one of the scourges of the South. And I'm not talking about kudzu, Kogan grass, Ulysses S. Grant, gossipy old ladies, 1 out of 2 people with diabetes, Crisco fried catfish, sibling marriage, fried any kind of an animal that you wouldn't normally eat, any part of an animal that you wouldn't eat, fried and breaded, bull weevils, chicken gizzards, scourges of the South. Dry counties. There's got to be more scourges. I kind of like it here though. Banjo players, fire ants, country music, 115-degree weather, mosquitoes, alligators and mosquitoes together, making an alliance, feral pigs, feral chickens, feral cats, feral Baptists, feral sibling marriage. All right, that's enough.
Did you say fire?